Welcome to the Italy Advantage, your monthly guide to smart living, investing and thriving in Italy. I'm Matilde Sperlinga, and whether you're an expat, investor or entrepreneur, we break down the legal perks, tax wins and hidden opportunities you need to know. Let's unlock Italy potential together. First up, we will decode how the discipline of trust works in Italy. Then we will focus on the inheritance tax, and finally how Italy turned into a paradise for high net worth individuals. The institution of trust is regulated in Italy, having found its way into the domestic legal system since 1992. In Italy, trust is a legal tool for asset management, but tax authorities have very strict rules. It is important that the trustee retains actual power to administer and dispose of the asset effectively entrusted to him by the settlor. The trust is considered non-existent in all cases where the trustee's power to manage and dispose of the assets, as identified by the trust rules or by law, is in some way limited or even conditioned by the will of the settlor and/or the beneficiaries. For expats, properly structured trust can protect wealth, but missteps could compromise its effectiveness. Always consult a local advisor. In Italy, inheritance tax applies to the transfer by death of all assets and rights transferred, even when these assets or rights are located abroad. But if the deceased at the time of death was not resident in Italy, inheritance tax is only payable on assets and rights located in Italy. Inheritance and gift tax rates vary depending on the degree of the kinship between the deceased and the beneficiary of the transfer, ranging from 4% up to 8%. At the same time, inheritance by reason of death entails several tax obligations for the heirs. Among these is the declaration of inheritance. This is an essential fulfillment for those who receive inheritance, as it is functional to payment of inheritance tax and mandatory for disposing of assets received. Within 12 months from the date of the operating of the subsection, the obligation to submit the declaration is incumbent on those entitled and interest in the estate. Where several persons are required to submit the declaration, the submission of the declaration by only one of them is sufficient to release the others from any obligation. Move over Monaco. Italy is now the EU rising star for millionaires, with 3,600 new wealthy residents in the last year, led by flat taxes, vineyards and golden visa program. Wealth today moves more easily and quickly than ever before. Capital seeks stability, quality of life, competitive tax regime, but also new assets in which to invest. Several factors play in Italy's favor, such as the flat tax regime, lifestyle, the real estate market, and the changing international context. For example, the weakness of some European countries that have historically been reinforced points for wealthy clients. Attracting wealth is an important lever, but it must go hand in hand with the ability to generate value on the territory and for the citizens of our country. A competitive country and a sustainable economic system are those that create value in the long term, with business, innovation work, and above all, the ability to retain talent. This is all for this edition of the Italy Advantage, where we turn Italy's complexities into your opportunities. Got questions? Reach out and follow us for the next month's updates. Until then, I'm reminding you, Italy isn't just a dream, it's a smart move. Arrivederci.